Hi there, I'm back. Keeping it classy as always. Today I'm hooking up the Angel Eyes, these halo ring lights, running lights. Just gonna wire them up. It's kind of a long video, so I thought I would actually jump forward in time and show you how it's all wired first. And then if you want more details and all the step-by-step directions, you can just, you can keep watching. Scan the video ahead. So, the black wires for the Halo Angel Eye lights have red and black wires typically running to each side. The black wires I've wired up to the black and purple wire on the power steering pump, and the white wires I have just run over to grounds that I grounded in the sheet metal of the car right here. And that's really all there is to it. So if you want more details, keep watching. Otherwise, good luck. And the E36 didn't have any wiring for the halo lights. You basically have two bare wires, usually, something like this. You've got a live wire and a neutral wire, and you just have to hook these into something that provides power when the car is on. So you just have to find a wire that is hot only when the car is on. And the easiest and most convenient one, in my mind, is the one that feeds the pump for the washer, window washer, white washer cleaner. So that's right here. And of course this is only powered when the car is on. So I'm just going to tap into one of these. If you take it out, you can actually, on mine it's kind of cracked and broken, it's easy to pull off. There's two wires here. One wire is connected to a switch. You're not going to mess with that one at all. The other wire is violet and black. It's like violet or purple, call it violet, purple and black with a black stripe on it. That is the wire that's hot when the car is on. So that's the wire that we're going to tap into. I like also picking this one because it's not really an essential thing. So if there are any issues, it's not a big deal. So I'm going to tap into this for power for the halo lights. To do this, I have a couple things from the hardware store. I have these, which will just allow me to run several wires to different locations. And then I have some little connectors that I'm going to use to connect everything. And a crimper. Should be pretty straightforward. So for my first step, I've gone ahead and peeled back the tape on these two wires. I've pulled them out of this, which isn't necessary, but they came out easily, so I did that. And pulled back the tape so that I've got a length of the purple and black wire exposed. And I hate to do it, but I just couldn't find a plug to connect into this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this wire carefully. It's a non-essential wire, so the worst that could happen would be that the washer pump wouldn't work right or would short out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that here. And I'm going to strip each side back. Now I'm going to put this connector in it. Again, I got this at Lowe's. You can just get them in any hardware place. They snap together like this. I'm going to put that connector on this piece here. So that goes in like that. and it will crimp on. Good, nice and secure. And then I'm gonna put the female end on this side. Do the same thing. Make sure that's good and crimped. Pull on it. It's pretty secure, so now I can snap it back together like that. And that'll work fine there. It'll still connect in to my washer pump. But I can splice a line into it. Now, the other one, this one, the violet and brown one, I'm not going to do anything with because that's the one that actually switches the pump on and off. Okay, I have some 16 gauge wire. Gonna cut short length of this. Strip both sides. One of these is going to get the male end right here. Good, got a secure connection on there. So I'm going to put that in like that. And I'm going to cut another length of wire, the same length. 16 gauge wire I'm using. Just like that. Strip both sides of this 16 gauge wire, and I'm gonna put a female end on this. Just like that. Crimp it. Give it a good tug. Okay, now I've effectively wired in a connection here. And I'm going to put all of these, every wire that I connect in here is just going to connect. So I'm going to put both of these in here. And they just kind of clamp down on there. I'm going to tug on it, it's fine. There we go, tugging on that. It's connected. Now, I'm going to put additional wires right in here to hook up the lights. I have two openings on here, and one of these openings is going to go to the right side, one is going to go to the left side. If I ever want to take this out, I can just unplug it here, and then plug that together, and I can take out the halo lights without fucking anything else up. So that's my mentality. So I'm going to put this back. Ideally, like I said, I would have liked to do this without cutting any wires, but this is my next best solution. So now that I have this, I'm going to take this black and white bare wire that's going to the passenger side halo lights, and the black wire is the live wire, typically. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna connect a plug to this. So I've gone ahead and I've crimped on a smaller blue connector onto the wire that came with the halo lights. And I can actually use the larger red female connector because they're the same size. Snap that on there. Gonna cut a short length of 16 gauge wire. Gonna strip both sides of the 16 gauge wire. Now this 16 gauge wire will go into my wire connector here. And the idea here is, this is not like a great way to splice wires, I don't think, but the idea here is that I can remove this whole splice and just plug everything back in. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna put the red female connector here. Put it on there like that. Crimp it. And now I can plug in the power like that to the passenger side, and then I'm going to run another wire over to the driver's side. So I'm going to first cut a short length of wire here because I want everything as much as possible to be connected by plugs so that I can unplug things if I want to make changes. Put one side in my wire splicer here. Just going to kind of give it a tug, make sure it's locked in there. On the other side, it's going to put a connector. Okay, so this is going to run over to my passenger side or my driver's side, and I think the way I'm going to run my wire is actually going to go back to the back of the engine compartment and all the way around so that I'm not anywhere near the radiator and the fan and the belts and the moving parts, because there seems to be a pretty good wiring path running around. So here's this wire. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in, run it around, measure it, and then cut it. Okay, so I'm gonna snap that together and then run this wire back through here. I haven't cut the other end of this wire yet. I'm actually gonna feed it through these clips all the way around to the other side, and then I'll cut the other end. Alright, so just gonna feed this wire around, just following the path of the other wires. I'll go ahead and secure this wire later, but for now I just want to get a rough idea of how I'm going to run it and how long it needs to be. And now I'm all the way over here on the other side. Gonna cut this wire a little bit long. And I'm gonna go ahead and splice it right here. Gonna go ahead and put a connector. I'm going to grab the smaller red female connector for the wire again. This is the wire that connects from the light. There are two bare wires, small bare wires. I'm going to connect the wire that I just ran to the black wire right here. I'm using the smaller red ones to connect to the light, and then since I'm running 16 gauge wire everywhere, which is a little thicker wire, I have to use blue connectors on that, but that really just refers to the crimping size where you put the wire in. They both snap together just fine, and that's a perfectly secure connection that I can unplug if I want to. Now I have power to both sides of the lights, all routed right through here. Definitely have to tweak that a little bit. So this is kind of my hub for all the power. And then the white wires are the ground wires. Now the ground wires I'm actually going to ground to the frame. I think I'm going to ground them to the frame. And I'll be all set. How the hell am I going to do that? Well, there are grounding points on the car already. I don't know, none of them really were convenient, and I didn't want to cut into anything if I could avoid it. So it's easy enough to create a grounding point. What I've done is I've just taken a sheet of sandpaper and sanded off a small piece of the paint on the body. Now, I have a machine screw. I'm going to drill a hole carefully right through here. Carefully because I don't want to drill through and hit my tire. That would be hilarious, but I would be sad. So I have a drill bit and a machine screw. I'm going to drill a hole through here, put the machine screw in there, and anchor to that for my grounding point. There we go. Small hole in the sheet metal doesn't really hurt anything. So I have this type of connector. Gonna put that through there and then attach it like that, and that'll be my grounding point. I'm gonna strip a small piece of wire, and I'm gonna attach this piece of wire. And really, honestly, I'm connecting it here because it's easy for me, but you can connect this to anywhere on the sheet metal and create a perfectly good connection. Just gonna get this tight so that it doesn't rattle loose. And I'll probably spray paint that just so it doesn't rust Put a little bit of black paint on there. So now I have a connector here, and I'm gonna run wires from this to the white wires on both sides to ground it. So this is my connecting point here. Similar to what I did with the live wire, I'm just gonna put in a plug, and I'm gonna hook this up to everything. So, creating a plug right there, and I'm gonna hook the other end into this. Now I'm gonna run one wire from there, like that. Already have a connector on that. This one's gonna go into this white wire right here. There we go. So I'm gonna connect that like that. And that's the white wire grounded to this point right here on that side. And then I'm gonna run a wire over again and ground to that side. I think in retrospect, I should have used a wire nut and soldered them together. Would have given me a much more solid connection. Okay, that seems to be in there. Now I'm gonna run this over to the passenger side. Gonna get that in there a little bit better later. Alright, so I have this here, and I'm just gonna connect this to the white wire over here. I'm gonna splice it. So I'm gonna put a connector on this end. There we go. And then I'm gonna take this white wire right here, and I'm gonna splice a red connector on it, because it's a smaller wire, remember. Alright, that's the white wire, and this black wire is running back over to connect to the ground that I created. And I'm done. So live wires are kind of spliced in right here. I can take that out really easily by going like that. And the white ground wires are running over to a ground that I just drilled into the sheet metal. And that's all there is to it. Okay, with the black wire for the halo lights connected into the purple and black wire going to the window washer pump, and the white wires going onto a grounding point that I created on the sheet metal, we should be all set. You notice they're not on now. You don't want to tap into something that's live all the time. But we'll run around, start the car up. They should be on, because as soon as the car is on, that wire is getting power. Alright, let's go check it out.